welcome back. There have been some changes. I'm picking this up where I left off because I decided to go fighter thief instead of fighter mage thief. Let's hold this dialogue. My character, I'm sort of hesitant to say that I was ambushed. Don't want to give up too much information because at this point, role-playing this, she doesn't know what's going on, who's after her. So it makes sense that she would be cagey. Well, let's hold this dialogue.
You are so aggravating! 'Tis disturbing to my demeanor!
I'm gonna ask for their assistance, but I have something to do first. And I think that's what would be appropriate, is that she would follow her foster father's wish to seek out his friends at the Friendly Arm Inn. Now, I decided again to go fighter thief instead of fighter mage thief because I didn't really understand the implications of it when I first did it. I thought it would be cool, but looking for, wow, there's something, oh sweet, looking forward to what's going on in the because they said that there's going to be a BG2EE, an enhanced edition.
Oh, there, wanderer. Stay thy
dialogue.
course a moment to indulge an old man.
Well, 2 is the only one that seems, even though I wouldn't say that I was
Don't worry
desperate.
about me.
No, I forgot what I was
Smiles,
saying.
everyone! Smile!
Yeah, I was a little ambitious with that. Your character's level very slow, and I only got to the second city, Bergeroth, or whatever that is, and I wasn't dying a lot, but looking into the other expansion, I was thinking I'd like to have a full party. I want to do
Hello, pal.
thief actions. Yeah. I want to do thief actions, and I also I wanted to do mage so I could have identify, but the truth of the matter is that I forgot that you can only cast so many spells, and of a certain type of spell. Anyway, it's not like World of Warcraft. Yet another choppy. They're all choppy with fraps. There's nothing I can do about it. So anyway,
I've got this.
it's not like WoW where you have mana. As long as you have mana, you can cast spells. With this, it's hard. You have like 4. Pick wisely. You can do it 4 times and you gotta rest. Or on this low level once and or twice and you've gotta rest. So, yeah, okay. Here comes, upcoming is a really big fight. So, say a prayer for me. So anyway, I decided to roleplay this with my decisions. I was going to do it as a roleplay in general, like a story, and then I decided not to because that means I'd have to be in character all the time, and there are things that I want to talk about that would break character, like some of the lore behind the game. So I'm going to make the decisions in character. Here's this asshole. He's a mage, and there's a bounty on me that I find out through this fight. He's gonna cast mirror image, and then
Is ambrosia.
the equivalent of fear, and all my people just run around like little bitches.
Do you want to tell me a story about trollops and plugtails?
So what I'm trying to do is to make it so to interrupt him, so he can't get that spell off. Because if I can interrupt those 2 spells, between all of my tunes, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, say a prayer. So I'm going to role play decision-wise, but not necessarily, you know, like all throughout the story. One of the big decisions. Oh, come on! Oh, that shit worked.
Give it to me straight.
I did it! I did it!
I did it! Me?
Okay. Anyway,
Oh,
I never
Tell
kill
me,
him that easy.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah. One of the big changes when I was editing the Mage, the Mage Thief Fighter combo, if I was role playing it, the very first thing I did was I tried to explore the map. And as putting myself in Synnistry's shoes, if my foster parent was killed in front of me, and I have no idea why, the very first thing that I'm going to do is follow my foster parents' advice to seek friends. Then, with a more beefed up party, I save a lot in this. I save a lot. I'm just telling you, a lot. So what I decided to do, what I would do, is once I had a beefed up party, then I would go back and search for clues as to what happened and why. So when I was editing the video, I immediately was like, "Oh, this is not right. This is what I would do, not what, if I was in that position, I would do." So I decided to take that opportunity, revisit the reroll boss, trying to get the good character. And I talked to Real Arcalian on Twitter about it, and I'm much more feeling the thief fighter more so than the mage thief fighter. To make up for the experience lost, I would have had to actually have less party members. And I think in a game like this, that's actually more detrimental. I could see if I had played this game more recently than when it was released, and I decided to challenge myself by going solo or something like that. Then that option would make more sense because I have less party members. I'd gain XP slower, but I'd have more abilities to be on my own. So, yeah, I'm feeling this a lot more. So, right now, what we're doing is we're going back to find out what happened to Gorion. I chose not to take the two people that we picked up, because, one, I don't know them, they're strangers, and I would not think Synnistry would want them in her business like that. And the second is, I want to sort of make up for the XP that I'm losing playing two characters, because in BG1 there is a set number of XP that you can gain, and it's shared among party members. So essentially I'm playing two people, so I'm sucking up one portion of the XP, although I'm playing two characters, if that makes any sense. So I didn't want to share my XP with people that I know are not going to stay in my party. So what I decided to do was to try to do this area with 4 people instead of 6. Because I figure if I were to have done it not role-playing, I would have done it with only 2. So I should be able to accomplish this without dying too hard. We shall see. The other thing is I'm still tweaking getting it to record right. Even when I switch my resolution to 1920 by 1080, it will still try. It doesn't It's weird. It's weird. What I may end up doing, and if you go, the only graphic options are full screen and non-full screen. And if you go non-full screen, it's some weird 1920 by 1042 or something like that. So I'm going to try and fiddle with it a bit and see if I can get the window to remember the size that I want. So thankfully, there's nothing really much up at the top and there's nothing really much at the bottom. And we can work it from there, but it sucks. I expected when they did this, that when they said it was going to be HD compatible, I'd have... Oh, wait a minute. This is the letter that's on Gorion, and it's a little cryptic, and I'm making it a little slower here so that you can read it. But someone suggested that we leave Candlekeep. This person knows more about what's going on, doesn't really mention all of it in this letter, but they did not feel that we were given a fair chance. So they gave us warning, told us to see Jaheira and Khalid, and, you know, that's it. So E. So remember E to see, you know, try to find out who that is. Now I forgot what I was saying again. I am very good at that. So we'll see how this goes, because now I know there's a bear here. Now the bear is good XP. There it is, but it doesn't... I was just about to say it doesn't aggro you. It aggroed me. But it's good XP. And I'm trying to be very thorough and explorative. Well, not explorative. I'm not sure if that's a word. I want to explore the maps and see what I can find. Like finding that diamond was a really nice find. I don't think I found that on the first playthrough. Tab is your friend. So I'm going to be doing that. So what else did I want to talk about? Oh, one of the things that is important in this game is the relationships that you have with your party members, and I thought that was very appropriate, because in real life it's the same way. The people that you choose to have close to you or focus your time on will either greatly improve or greatly degrade your quality of life. And I made a post on Facebook, and I sort of hinted at it on Twitter earlier today, but I made a bigger one on Facebook about how some of my friends are leaving Facebook because they feel that social sites are making their mind dull, because they are following or are friends with people who like to open themselves up to misinformation, do not take the time to research it properly, think that it's real, and will get into a debate with you about it. And a good example is the post that the one example that I made on Facebook. I gave 3, but one that was passed on to me, and there were others that were passed on. But for example, there's a picture floating around that's actually from 2003-2004, but it's floating around like it's new, where there's horses grazing under a huge table and chair. And the caption on this photo is that the owner of the horses made the table and chair because he tried to get a permit for a shelter, and wherever he is, he was unable to get one. So this large table and chair structure did not require a permit, ergo he made it to save his horses. And you'll see people saying, oh my god, this is so cool, that's so good that he do this for his horses, blah 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 blah. Now if you've been on the internet long enough, you know this is bullshit. You know what the real deal is, and yeah, let's talk right through that, okay? Yeah, okay, fine, thanks. You know what the real deal is. the structures were made by a woodmaker, and it's a visual advertisement for his business. When you see that, you know he does good work. And you can see what he can do. It's a wonderful visual aid. And it sort of sucks that people don't realize it's a visual aid, because what's the point of doing marketing if people don't realize that it's an ad? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so people are showing this around, but it's not in the spirit of getting him more sales. It's in the spirit of oh my god, this is so cool. I'm glad he did something with his horses. If you think about it, particularly if you're a homeowner, that doesn't make any sense. Why would the city approve those large structures but not approve a shelter for your horses, which may actually be in the code where you live, that there has to be some sort of proper care for them? Doesn't make any sense. But people don't think. They just hit and think cool and move on. Another example was Facebook supposedly changed their terms of service recently, and people were putting a copyright notice on their timeline thinking that it would override Facebook's terms of service, any changes that may happen. Now, I can't even wrap my brain around why anybody would think that that was real, that would actually work. That's a case of believing wanting to believe something so much that you do things that don't even make any sense anymore. But that it's false. That's not true. And then there was another one where this was going around election time, where there was a receipt for groceries that were paid for by food stamps, and the person bought lobster and steak. And the caption was something like, "Wouldn't it be nice to be able to eat like this? People don't appreciate the food stamps," or whatever. But the receipt is real. But the whole story behind it is that the person who bought those things was arrested, because what they did was they used a food stamp card to buy those things, then turned around and sold them for half the price, which is, fraud and federal offense, and they went to jail for it. So it puts a different spin on it when you know that the person was punished for it. It sort of takes the air out of, now, true enough, if a person on food stamps wanted to buy lobster and steak, there is absolutely nothing in the code saying that they can't. It's food. But I know in my area, a steak, well, I'd say, if you were to get a big portion of ground beef, would be the same amount as 3 steaks. But I'm not justifying whether or not a person on food stamps should be able to buy those things, because that same argument would come up is, if you're getting disability from the state, do you really have enough money to be on Facebook and Twitter and on the internet? The answer would be no, because for most people, the internet is a luxury. It's not a necessity. But yet and still, they choose to use the money that way. So, anyway, people were saying that they were leaving Facebook and whatnot because they had surrounded themselves around people that they aren't on the same plane with. They know that these things are false, so they don't want to see debates going on about bullshit, because in their mind, it's a waste of time. I completely respect and understand their decision. But just like in this game, I chose to exclude some people and include some people. On social sites, you have, and in real life, in relationships, you have the ability to include some people and exclude some people. Excuse me. So instead of leaving Facebook and Twitter aren't the problem. It's the choices that were made to include people. Now, giving credit where credit is due with Facebook, if you accept a friend request, it's not on most social sites. If you accept the friend request, you see what they're saying instead of you can be friends with them, but they're not friends with you kind of thing. Like with Twitter, you have to friend them back. They can follow you, but you have to follow them back to like be able to send a private message per se. So I don't know. It's food for thought, but this game made me think about that. Even though I made the post earlier, I was actually applying what I said in this game, which I think is pretty cool. So I think this is a good time to sell some stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.